Hello and welcome to Goa 365 Straightforward. Sports in Goa has gained a lot of momentum. We have many young, even elderly people getting into the sport that normally Goans are not known for. Like say for example even weightlifting or be it karate. Or so far now recently we had rallying. Well, we have today with us Amul Satoskar. He has been in this field for 21 years but sadly he has not got the recognition he deserves. So he's here today with us after winning the prestigious Rally of Himalayas Extreme. He has secured the first place, consistently leading the entire tournament. Amul, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So to start off, how did you even get into rallying? Because normally for a Goan who lives by the sea has no history of a rallying sport in the state. How did you really get into the sport?
Actually, I had liking towards cars, motorsports, and car racing, bike, from my childhood, and especially about Himalaya rally, because when I was very small, when I was in some 4th or 5th standard, and there were one program is to come on Doordarshan about Himalayan rallies. Yeah, they used to show gypsies and all that racing. And I always had that craze, and that craze was like going more and more towards car racing after seeing that. And later when I first I met some friends from Karnataka, and they told me about motorsports. They were into motorsports, organizing rallies, races. So through them I drove my first rally in 2000. I drove Maruti 800 in Bangalore. I won, and then it started.
But you didn't face any backlash from your home side, because normally parents even to let their children have a bike on the road, they are very reluctant. But to let their son get into a sport that is relatively dangerous, because travel at high speeds on dangerous roads.
Yeah, actually, but my since I'm I lost my dad at very. When I was very young and very small, so my mom actually she always supported me. Yeah, she said okay. Then after I said I won the first race in 2000, she was always backing me. She never said okay, don't do racing or this that, because I was taking care of everything.
Okay. So is this your first time taking part in the Rally of the Himalayas, or have you taken part in this before?
No, I've won this before 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 2010 was the first time I drove as a privateer on my own. I had a Tata Xenon and I had built it up for a rally. Whatever things were needed for Himalaya rally. I had modified the car in Bangalore, and then I had participated on my own, and I had won. And then later when team was formed, Tata, I had a chance to drive for them. Then 2 more years, 11 and 12, I drove even for Mahindra. I won Himalaya. So 2012 was the last Himalaya rally I drove.
Okay, but when you say you did it privately, how do you manage the expenses? Because I reckon it's pretty expensive to.
Yeah, actually, motorsports is very expensive. So I used to, whatever funds I used to get from my work, I used to utilize there. And then later on, when I got picked up by factory racing, Team Tata and Mahindra, I used to utilize my salary for other private races, because they used to not participate in INRC. Factory racing they should do only for cross countries. So whatever funds I used to get from driving for factory, I used to utilize it for my INRC.
So apart from the Himalayas, what are the kind of rallies do you take part in generally?
I drive INRC, I drive IRC, I drive cross country. There are total 5. One is Desert Storm, Rally of Himalaya, Dakshin Dare, Sajoba, Mughal, Thar Desert Rally. There are many, but since after COVID, there was no events happening. So this was the only last year it happened actually, but I was not here, so I could not participate. But this year I got the invitation from them, and I was very lucky because they don't allow anyone to just come and drive, and especially in extreme. It is like if you have to drive a extreme, you need to drive their adventure first to know the terrain.
So basically a qualifier to
qualifying sort of. So once you win an adventure, so next year you can drive for extreme.
Okay.
And then there's extreme plus.
So was this a long time goal? Like, have you been planning for this race, that this happened race for a long time, or was it?
No, actually, as I said, I always I'm ever ready when it comes to racing and rallying, but just because of lack of funds, I used to always back out, and because of this only, because there was no sponsors, and since factory also had stopped racing, I didn't had any other options, so I gave up. I had stopped completely. I was not racing. So now when I got the invitations from them, I was in I was not sure at all that I'm driving, but then I met MLA, Murgaon MLA, Mr. Sankalp Monkar, and he boosted me actually. He said, "Oh, that's nice after so long, but take care," he said, because you're driving after 10 years. So that's the first boost I got from him.
So, but then basically when you thought of getting down to it, especially after a long gap, what was going in your mind that, should I do this or should I not? Like, was that a question in your mind, or was it like you got the invitation, you were like, I have to do this?
No, actually initially when I got the invitation, I was very happy. And when, everything I met sports minister through Sankalp, and Sankalp had mentioned him about my past story that he was into. So when he gave a commitment, our sports minister said, okay, you go ahead, we'll try and do something for your sponsorship and all. So then I called my friend who prepares cars, and he has a setup, he has a own garage in Bangalore. He was also zapped, are you sure you're driving? I said yeah. So he said, that's nice to see you back, but what car are you driving? So I was totally blank, because when it comes to Himalaya, I know the terrain, so you just can't drive any car there. Okay, so when I said I'm driving a car like T1 car category, he was like, okay, I have only two cars, one is Baleno and one is Sedia. So
Sedia is
Mitsubishi, yeah.
Okay.
So the moment he said Sedia, I was like, yes, it's Sedia. So he called me to Bangalore. I went to Bangalore. I saw the car. Car was off for 6-7 years, because now it's a Polo, which is in the market, rallying market. Everywhere, every race you see, it's a Polo. It's a like Polos also. There are 2-3 different categories. The top one is R2. So I said, see, I don't have that sort of budget to drive R2 and all, so it's good, like I'll manage with
but did you have a self-doubt, like knowing the car was shut for 6-7 years, that you're going to
I was
race the Himalayas?
Actually I was, because and then he said, don't worry, I'll do up the car. It's not that we'll just take the car as it is. And then I told him about the suspension. I need a good suspension. That car was just a rally car with a roll cage. No suspension, no seats belt, nothing. Just a car, okay, on a stock suspension. So I said, I'm going to drive it on a Riger. So he also didn't had a Riger suspension. Riger suspension cost about 16 lakhs.
Wow.
So we had hired the suspension.
Okay.
Seats also he managed from some other car, belts and all, and the car was ready. So I was supposed to actually go back to Bangalore again to try it, but because of my work and I was running here and there to do preparations, my license was expired, FMSCI. So all that this thing I could not go to Bangalore to try it. So what he said, okay, why don't you go early to Manali? You will get adjusted to the climate also, and then the car will also reach there, so you can try it in that altitude. So I said, okay, fine, that's good. So that's how I left on 24th. 27th was the race. So 24th, I was in Manali. But my car didn't reach there. The trailer broke down, and the car, actually everyone like was ready with their car. They have tested their car. They have done recce, everything. Only my car has not come. So everyone asking, Ari, where's your car? Where's your car? So I said, it's coming, it's coming. So final day when the documentation scrutiny is there. So that day, just I got the car 40 minutes before the scrutiny closes. So I have to rush. I just washed the car, rushed to the scrutiny area. I got the scrutiny done, documentation done, my documentation done, and then I had only 35 minutes left to try my hands on the car.
So the first time you drove your car for the rally was 35 minutes?
35 minutes also I didn't. Actually, I drove the car for 20 minutes.
Wow.
And then I have to put the car back in Park Farme because there's a Park Farme closing time. So that 20 minutes I tried everything.
But even in that time, did you think like, am I like going beyond myself? Like, am I really pushing it?
Yeah, actually
everything was so delayed, and like there were breakdowns along the way. Transportation problem, and then you had just 20 minutes to test the car out.
My friends from Goa, my cousin, my brother, they were continuously calling me and asking whether the car is reached. So when I told them the car is reached, I've done with scrutiny. So second question was, did you try the car? So I said, yeah, I've just taken a short spin. Car's okay. But you know what, I was in double mind whether to drive or no, because I saw the competition there, which was out of my limit. Out of, like, you know, those cars, Polos, R2, were very fast. Gypsies were there, turbo gypsies, Vitaras.
But
all
how
good
about
cars.
the climate, and like even Ladakh, like a lot of people struggle with just acclimatizing as primarily as a problem just for even like when they go sightseeing over there.
Yeah.
But to actually like go there and be so on top of your game in spite of the lack of oxygen, how did you face that part?
Actually, I also had a problem because we were going from down to up. Okay, so we were going day by day. We are going on a higher altitude. So I was getting that altitude sickness, nose bleeding, all that is common actually. But then, like initially before the race started, we were like on the road book and all that. I was talking to my navigator. I said, see, whatever it is, it's on a day one, because I've seen the road book. It shows that 51 kilometers we have tarmac. Tarmac in a sense like we are going uphill. We have hairpin bends, we have slippery roads, single road, that's the old Rohtang road, and we have downhill and some broken tarmac. So we have made a strategy, like now I've told my navigator whatever we have to do first day, because you know my start is last. In Himalaya rallies they give you a start order as per your previous result. Means last year's result, and before that they have done the start order.
So the last year's winner would be placed first,
second, third as per the old result. So my name was never there because I'm come after 10 years. And I was given the last start. In my category 23rd, I was the last car. So
but does that but does that prove, like, you know, like prove as a disadvantage to be starting last?
Yes.
How, in what sense?
Because see, initially when the car goes, especially SUVs, gypsies and Vitaras, when they go, they dig out the whole track.
Oh, that, yeah, okay.
All the boulders outside the road will come on the road. Okay, so they dig out and make the track worse for you.
Okay.
And the last car will suffer. So that was one disadvantage for me. But when we started, I was like just zipping. I was just standing on the throttle, literally standing on the throttle, because on high altitudes the cars doesn't run.
Lack of oxygen.
Yeah, the top speed what I did was 142.
142.
I have not, like previously also I have raced, but I have not achieved this speed because those cars were not so powerful. This Cydia, okay, was power. It had power, but not as powerful as Polos. So, and the gearbox is normal. So I had to push it till the limit.
But wasn't that also a fear, knowing that you have only one car and if you push it too hard, it might break down and you would be out of the race? Or
Yeah,
was it a
but
risk
yeah, I have taken the maximum risk actually, because otherwise I don't have any other option. If I slow down, I have to take a risk where they go slow. So that's how I
you
can
can keep up with them?
Yeah, and you know, I have to keep my pace also. So the same, we did the same strategy. We like, but you know, the biggest problem what we faced was start of first stage. We had a major electronic failure. No electronics were working in the car. My GPS failed, my Terra trip failed, my rally computer off, even my intercom was not working. There was some wiring issues, and you know, because of that,
So how did you get that
actually,
rectified then?
yeah, actually, my Navi, he said, I'll just read the road book. Okay, so you watch and drive, he said. And mostly I do watch and drive. I don't need maximum navigation. So, and I had gone through the road book. So, whatever triple cautions and danger zones I had, like, you know, I had kept in my mind, okay, where I need to take care. So, that's how I was maintaining my pace.
So you couldn't rely on any of the electronics, you just had to rely on your instinct and your memory too.
Yeah, because I told you, after 17 kilometers only it conked off, and you know, nothing was working. So whole rest, the 51 kilometers we did, and then again we had a second stage of 27 kilometers. That also. So day one we just did it without any electronics.
Can you explain to me basically what is the rough route that the rally goes through? Like from Manali, you said it goes to Rohtang. From there on,
Rohtang, Gramfu, then Sarchu, one place is there. Then we go to Jispa, Kelong, Patsio, Baralacha, Shinkula. So after Shinkula, there's a valley. Yeah, they choose the army route actually.
Okay, so these are not mostly on daily routes that normal commuters use.
No, not maximum route is blocked for rally.
Okay, so they shut down routes.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you know, when you were there driving, going at like 142, how do you like keep your fear aside? Like, because I've seen the roads there, like you just take one look on your left and like there's a valley and straight down, there's no option, like there's nothing to stop you. So how do you keep that fear aside, like when you go down sharp turns and like, you know, just barreling down mountains? How do you keep up with that?
Actually, I should not look beside. My full concentration was on the road. Yeah, I was just watching the corners, not outside the corners. Because if you see outside the corners, you know, you will never drive on those roads. Even my Navi, he was very like, you know, on third day, final day, we were about to go down. My car literally skidded, and it was a blind curve. It was actually a total blank call, like, you know, and one gypsy had gone down. My friend went down, Mr. Sanjay Razdan. He was airlifted.
Oh, so there was like, he went down the mountain?
Yeah, went down. So he went more than 100 feet down. Oh my God. And toppling. So he was safe, like nothing serious, but we were also like, you know, going. Luckily my car just stopped on the edge, and I lost about 3 minutes there. So the first day when we started, I was like, I took all the cars and from last to first, and you know, gap was not much on the second car. He was just 3 seconds behind me on the first day. So like all the other drivers were like shocked. Okay, who's this? Like, just come and he's driving. And
but was it like a shock and awe for everyone, like, you know, seeing you after 10 years back at the rally?
Yeah, actually some old drivers were there who I raced with before, but maximum they were all youngsters who don't know me. So they never thought, you know, I'll be a competition for them.
So for them it was more of a shock, like.
Yeah. So after the first day result, they knew, okay, we have to take care of this guy. But it was too late for them. Second day, I was again doing a huge margin. I was almost 21 minutes lead on the second car.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, because second day also I had one stage of 32 kilometers. There also I did the same. I said, now since we are come on this position, let's not give up. I told my navy, you just buckle up your seatbelts tighter and we'll just fly. So after that second day gap what I made, it was like impossible for them to catch up. Because the third day stage was full dirt, full broken, completely boulders, and all total we had 11 water crossings. Yeah, my car also stopped 5 times.
So do you have to deal when you all have a breakdown in the middle of the stage? Can you all receive outside help as repairs, or do only the driver and the navy can?
No, we can't take outside help. Whatever we can fix it, or just leave the car. Yeah.
So if you leave the car, you are disqualified from that stage.
Yes.
So your timing is not.
Yeah, means your DNF. So when my car stopped, I was like going mad. I was just pressing the buttons, and luckily the car started. And then one car had overtook, like me, my same category. He had overtook me, and he had almost gone 5 kilometers. But I again took him on 5 kilometers. I overtook him again, and again I made 7 minutes on him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the reason I broke the Riger suspension. It's actually, it is impossible, you can say, to break Riger suspension. But I was driving like mad. I didn't have any other option because I was losing my time.
But financially, like since transporting a whole car and like even especially getting a car done, you don't even get the opportunity to do up a car in Goa, because we don't have that kind of setups here. To do up a car in Bangalore, get it transported all the way to the Himalayas, like how do you handle that financially? Like how much does that come up to?
Actually, my whole this rally cost me about 7,80,000. Though I have rented the car, everything was rented. Like this was like the minimum budget. What I did in a minimum budget. Otherwise, you have to do a Himalaya rally, means you have to keep a budget of 10 lakh straight.
So how do contenders normally manage this kind of expenses for races?
They have sponsors. Maximum, there are a lot of teams in North India, South India. There are teams, and they have their own sponsors. I'm the only one from Goa. Even I have offers to drive for teams, but I won't be able to use my Team Goa name. That's the reason I'm backing off. Otherwise, I have many offers to drive for other companies. There are so many teams which have offered me. After Himalaya also, they have given me good offers to come and drive for them. But then I can't use this name, Team Goa.
That is something really nice to hear.
Thank you.
So even from the government side, like normally, like for sports and all, the government does give some kind of subsidy or like pay a part of it. Have you got any assurances like this from the government, or is it something you had to kind of deal with?
Yeah, I've got the assurance. But so far I didn't receive any financial backup.
So you have to wait and see whether you get it.
Yeah, so my next rallies, I told you 3 rallies are lined up, but all depends on the finance and sponsorship from the government. So I have kept everything on hold. I said once I get a sponsorship, then only I can decide of the next events.
So now you have achieved like something that people like dream of achieving, and that too you have done it in such a spontaneous and facing a lot of hardship along the way. What would you like to say, like people, maybe not even just from rallying, but like generally when you face hardships, like how do you keep your cool, like how do you say, like keep yourself calm and centered and say, like it's going to be all fine?
Actually, I don't know what to say, but when it comes to motorsport, it's really very expensive sport. Those who can manage this, working or doing some business and manage the funds to get into it, nothing like it. But you have to work very hard, really very hard, because I know how I'd come on this level. I've been a factory racer. To get to that level only I've struggled so much, because I have literally given everything.
Everything. Well, it's really been nice having you here, and you have done a lot, and even the fact that you wouldn't take sponsorship just to have the words Goa written on your car and your jersey is something that people should really take inspiration from. So I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, and we hope to see you again on this show, maybe with more trophies here from your next endeavors. And we wish you all the best again.
Thank you. Thank you.
And keep watching Goa 365.